kind of go through this past 6 months. We've had some transition with the roster and everything, as per usually everyone does nowadays. But I think the biggest thing is our leadership that we've been able to keep intact, and our increased urgency since January 18th coming back. The past couple of years have been not as exciting in the sense of how they've ended, but it has added fuel to the fire. And in this line of work, you have to fail to succeed. I always go back to myself as a player, myself as a young coach, myself as a young head strength coach, and then what can I do to get better? Where did I make a mistake? How can I correct it? Where did I lead my staff wrong? How can I correct it? Where could we do better with our athletes? And so experience is the best teacher. The only problem is you have to gain experience. And that takes time. And so this year with the veteran team, our great leadership, our increased urgency day to day with details and tasks that may seem mundane to most have been the biggest difference, and the compounding interest of doing the things the right way every day are going to pay dividends in the future. And I think our increased accountability and our increased consistency and the way that we've been able to create competition day in and day out with academics, athletics, and just every single facet of our program. I feel great of our off-season training, and I cannot wait till we put the pads on in practice and do everything the right way. And when we kick it off, first game, and all the way through December, to be in the top 8.9% of what we want to do and how we want to achieve our goals. I mean, it's exciting.
During the program, what did you see as like the biggest jump as far as players taking part in the program? What do you saw that kind of stood out?
Leadership is the biggest thing for me. Like I said, experience is the best teacher, and we have upperclassmen that have been in the program from day one till now, that they've been a Cajun. Now we obviously have some guys that transfer in and they have to find out what it's like to be a Cajun, but our cultures has been cemented with these types of players. And every team is different. You may have the same players, right, or most of your roster may be the same, but every team is different in their attributes that they need to work on, or what do they have to do to get better. Like that changes year to year, sometimes day to day, week to week. And the longer that you're in the program, the more that we can detail every single facet of the program to you. And what does this team need today? What does this team need to do to make sure that a month from now that they're still firing on all cylinders? And I think that's the biggest thing, is the roster retention that we've had and the leadership that has stuck together. And these guys love to play with each other. So the trust that they have, they know that the guy to the left and to the right of them, they're going to hold each other accountable, and they're going to be able to play at a very high level because of the experience that they've had and the amount of snaps that they've played with each other. That's a big thing.
You talked about culture and, getting some new guys in and kind of learning what it means to be a Raging Cajun. Just talk about, how important it is to establish that culture in the off season, so that way when you get to the fall, it's not them trying to figure out what it means to be a Cajun or building things.
Right. Well, I think that's one of the most important things that Coach Des has always harped on, is like, this is our culture. We're, blue collar, hard hat, bringing lunch pail to work type of program. And if we're, quote unquote soft from January until August, well, I don't know if y'all have walked outside, but it's hot. It's going to stay hot, and we're going to work hard. And if we don't acclimatize you the right way, from how we coach to how we hold each other accountable to doing things the right way, and have the program to match the intensities of practice, you're just going to melt when you go outside. Instead, you're going to be tempered steel, to where we've molded you to be the right type of player that you need to be when it's the most critical. And, fall camp's all about competition, and we have put our players in position to compete at a high level daily. And that's not just when they set foot on on the field for the gridiron. That's recovery. That's eating. That's weighing in. That's weighing out. That's staying hydrated. That's doing everything that you need to do to be a pro now. All right, to make sure that your best ability is availability, especially during fall camp. Because if you don't make it, for whatever reason, if you're out, someone has to take care of that workload. And it's going to be either your direct competition right now or someone that is going to have to step up and take care of business because of some things that maybe you didn't want to take care of. And that's not our culture. So we take care of business. That's what we're supposed to do. And I'm in the business of creating men. So, that's a man. Boys do what they want to do. Men do what they need to do. All right. And that's what we're about right here.
You mentioned experience, having 2 redshirt senior quarterbacks. Does that make your job easier and all this?
Absolutely. Having guys that, first of all, love the process and are about the process and leadership, and 2 different types of leadership styles, and they can navigate the team in 2 different ways, and it's exciting to see. It's a very I don't really know how to put it in words, but it's almost poetic when you see leadership styles and guys rounding around, redshirt seniors and people that have played a lot of games and won games for us and have gone through multiple years of adversity, whether it be injury or maybe not winning the starting position. And in a day and age where guys can just pack up and leave, or they want to, or they just want to hang them up, it shows the type of men that they are to come in here and compete at a high level, and the investment that they've put for the Cajun football and for their families. I mean, it's an incredible aspect to see, and it shows. And attitude is the most contagious thing. So these guys come in here with the best attitude, the right work ethic, and it bleeds into everyone else around them. So it's infectious. And it lifts me up too, knowing that some days, am I doing enough? Well, everybody gets tired every now and then. It's like, well, hey, am I gonna have to put the hammer down on some guys and hold them accountable when I'm about to? They step up and say, hey, that's not what we're about. That's not our culture. That's not our blueprint. That's not our process. This is how we do it. This is how we do things. This is how it's supposed to be done. This is how it's going to get done. So it's awesome, and it's not just those 2 guys. It's players that are across the board. You got Casey Osai, you got Jordan Lawson, you got Antoine Bayless, you got Mason Narcisse, you got young guys coming up, Terrence Carter. I mean, all of these guys, AJ Gilly, Jax Harrington, Landon Burton. You got some veterans in the wide receiver group that are coming along. I mean, you got a lot of young guys in that group. You got Draylen Washington. You've got Kendrell Williams, guys that have been in the program for a long time. And Zylan Perry, who's going to, doing a great job and making sure that he's doing everything that he can. I mean, like I said, it's just experience that comes in, and you don't know what you don't know. And it's funny. I was just talking about this to a couple guys, couple coaches in the cafeteria. It's like, I remember my first camp, 2010. We had 2 days, all that. And it's like, I was like, dang, this is crazy. And that was a watered down version from when my grandfather played for Coach Bryant in Alabama, and that's when Coach Bryant had just came from Texas A&M and the Junction Boys. Football it's moving in the right direction in the sense of taking care of the players and making sure that they got tread on the tires to go and do what they want to do and live a happy life if they don't play football for the rest of their lives. So it's like, what can we do to make sure that we maximize everything? And more isn't always the best thing, but you learn from your mistakes, so just how everyone else has in the past, and you detail your processes and you make sure that everything's the right way when kickoff comes.